Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Friday, July 31st, 2015, around 6:53 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. Nice and sunny out today, lower humidity, highs in the 80s, and it's going to be like this tomorrow. Nice, hot, and dry weekend. Some news to report. Boston Red Sox ended their losing streak by beating the White Sox by the score of 8-2. The Red Sox avoided a 4-game sweep. And also, the Spinners beat Williamsport by a score of 5-2 to take 2 out of 3 of that series. The MLB non-waiver trading deadline's at 4 p.m. today. The Colorado Rockies have put outfielder Carlos Gonzalez on the trading block. We'll wait and see if he gets traded. And Beijing, China, has been announced that they're going to host the 2022 Winter Olympics. And I think they're the first city ever to host Summer and Winter Olympics that I can recall. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is the continuation series of the top 10 everything and anything. I reached the top 10 professional wrestlers that should have been members of the elite group, the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen were in WCW and NWA from the mid-80s, 1986 through 1999 in various versions. It was led by Nature Boy Ric Flair and the Enforcer, Double A, Arn Anderson, and it had so many members including Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Sting, Sid Vicious, Paul Roma, Flying Brian Pillman, the Loose Cannon, Chris Benoit, Steve Mongo, McMichaels, Jeff Jarrett, and Dean Malenko. And these 10 wrestlers should have been members of the Four Horsemen at one time or another. Number 10 on this list is Nature Boy Buddy Landel. Nature Boy Buddy Landel was he could have been a good member of the Four Horsemen and stuff, but it would be confusion with Nature Boy with Flair and stuff, so that might not have been a good choice, but you never know. Number 9 on this list, a wrestler that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Stunning Steve Austin. I think Stunning Steve Austin would have been great as a member of the Four Horsemen, I think in 1993, if Flair and Anderson were heels, and if they rebooted Four Horsemen in 1993, they should have had Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes, in the Four Horsemen and stuff like that. That would have been awesome. Number 8 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Kevin Sullivan. And I think this would have been perfect in 1996 if Kevin Sullivan was part of the Four Horsemen and stuff. He was like the Taskmaster, leader of Dungeon of Doom and stuff. And that would have been awesome. Number 7 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been the Four Horsemen, the Giant. Giant would have been perfect for the Four Horsemen in 1996 and stuff. We'll probably talk about that next week, about a storyline, like a fantasy booking scenario with a huge Four Horsemen against the Four Horsemen that I'm going to talk, and that will be interesting. Number 6 on this list, the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Ted DiBiase. There was rumors in 1987 Ted DiBiase was going to jump to before going to WWE about Jim Crockett Promotions and stuff, and he would have been a good member of the Four Horsemen instead of Lex Luger, but Ted DiBiase and Jim Crockett had problems in the past. I heard something in 1981. Jim Crockett refused to vote for Ted DiBiase for the NWA World Championship. He probably had a lot of animosity about that. Number 5 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Greg the Hammer Valentine. There was rumors in 1988 he was going to come to Jim Crockett Promotions or NWA and stuff and become a member of the Four Horsemen, but that didn't come to pass. He re-signed with the WWE, even though his career was going downhill and stuff. Probably WWE offered him more money than JCP or NWA at the time, but Greg would have been a perfect Four Horseman because he had a long history with Ric Flair's tag team partners. Number 4 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Mike Rotundo. Mike Rotundo would be been a great member of the Four Horsemen and stuff like that, because he was kind of a heel in like the late 80s, early 90s in WCW and in the WA with the Varsity Club and Michael Wall Street, so that would have worked. Number 3 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Michael P.S. Hayes. Michael P.S. Hayes, like in 1989, would have been very good as a member of the Four Horsemen and stuff. You know, there were rumors they were going to reboot the Four Horsemen with like Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, or either Michael P.S. Hayes or Butch Reed and stuff. So that would have been pretty good. Number 2 on this list of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Cowboy Bob Orton. There was rumors when he came to the NWA in 1989 he was going to be part of the Four Horsemen, the rebooted Four Horsemen, but that never came to be and stuff. But I think Bob Orton Jr. would have been great as a member of the Four Horsemen. Maybe he could have been the enforcer of the Four Horsemen during that time, because Arn Anderson was in the WWE. And number 1 of the top 10 wrestlers that should have been a member of the Four Horsemen, Terry Taylor. I think Terry Taylor would have been very good as a member of the Four Horsemen and stuff. He was an underrated heel and stuff when he was in NWA and WCW and stuff. Instead of the Red Rooster gimmick, he probably could have overcame it if he became a member of the Four Horsemen and stuff. That's about it on this list. And probably Monday will be that fantasy booking scenario I've been talking about in 1996 with the Four Horsemen and the Luge Four Horsemen. Like the Four Horsemen I'm going to do in WCW in 1996 will be Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, and the Giant, facing off against the Luge Four Horsemen with Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit, and 2 others. I'm not going to tell you who they are until this fantasy booking scenario I'll tell you Monday. Will be very interesting. I used to do fantasy booking years ago and stuff, but I used a mix of former and current pro wrestlers at the time, along with longtime close personal friends in a fantasy booking scenario. But the longtime close personal friends won't be in these fantasy booking scenarios anymore. They're just going to be wrestling storylines and stuff that should have happened in like certain things, which will be very good. 2 more video blogs coming today: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. One will be about RTA Bus Route 19 seasonal, which goes from the old Kennedy Center to the Pheasant Lane Mall in Nashua, New Hampshire. This bus just runs on the holiday season on Saturdays. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about, is Jeremy Roenick a future Hockey Hall of Famer? Have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Keep calm. And I'm a Julie Blood guy, and Molly Rosenblatt, a Fox 35 Rocks. Have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Bye now.